bow for the invocation. Ms. Malia?
Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful summer day, and thank you for the blessings we have, including the right to assemble and govern ourselves. Help us as we make decisions today that affect our neighbors and the citizens of this county. Some of these decisions are not easy, but please guide us to be sure our actions are based on truth and fairness. In your name, amen.
Amen.
You want to send the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for one nation, God,
Indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, we've got a quorum tonight with 4 members present. All have meeting minutes of the previous meeting. I'd like to, all are satisfied with that, I'd like a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? These proceedings are recorded and will be available for review probably Monday, it being a holiday weekend. Got a couple of people I'd like to recognize being here tonight. Former Commissioner Bill Morris, welcome, sir. Good to see you. We've got City Councilman from Harlem, John Thigpen. John, thank you for coming. And we've got the Harlem Public Works Director, Robert Fields. Robert, we've got a Boy Scout troop or a couple of Boy Scouts. Can I get your name and where you will be going to school, sir? Awesome. Awesome.
Fantastic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. Okay, under presentations, Mr. and Ms. Thomas, would like to come forward and make your presentation. Would state your name and address for the record.
My name is Rod Thomas. It's my wife, Laquita. Our address is 4501 Zola Drive, Evans 30809.
You can go ahead with your presentation.
Okay, well, thank you. I was going to have Mr. Frankie make our presentation, if that's okay with the committee.
That'll be fine. Mr. Frankie, if you would, for the record, please state your name.
I'm Mr. Frankie at 902 Fairfield Avenue, North Augusta, and I've been working with them and the owner as well. Is there a line item later on for the discussion about the zoning? I haven't looked at the agenda that carefully yet. There is?
There is. It's item.
I didn't know y'all were going to make a presentation, so if you've got something.
They
on the
had
agenda.
signed up for.
I actually submitted it, so I don't want to be repetitious, but what we're aiming to open a small mom and pop used car store on 324 South Bel Air. The crux of it is we need the zoning approval from C1 to C2. I've been in the business 33 years, car business 33 years. And I actually work in Columbia, South Carolina now at about a 3-hour turnaround drive. And just really getting old, tired of driving that far, and looking to do something here local. That's about 2 miles from my home. And we saw the property available, and we inquired, and that's where we are. I'm available for any questions, anything that anyone has for me.
Any questions at this time? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Items have gone before committee. Move forward with the proper votes. If I could get a motion, we'd approve all these at one time.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we accept all these items and go on from.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Next item is under the debate agenda. Malia, you're up for a minute.
I do. My first one has to do with the speakers that were just up, I believe, item I1A1. I make a motion to disapprove the request for rezoning from C1 to C2 for a proposed vehicle sales business for property located at 074049C.
Second.
Are there any comments? All in favor of the denial, please raise your right hand. Motion carries 4-0.
I make a motion to approve the request for a variance to section 90-98, list of lot and structure requirement for property located at tax map 074049C to reduce the front setback for an existing structure subject to the condition enumerated in the June 20th, 2019 Planning and Zoning Report.
Second?
Motion and a second. Is there any comment?
This is the same piece of property, but we were, even though we denied the vehicle business, this is to bring the existing structure into compliance with zoning laws now, because the road setbacks moved after the building was built.
All in favor of this motion, raise your right hand. Motion carries 4-0.
I make a motion to approve the request for a rezoning of tax map 067004A and a portion of tax map 067004 from R1 to M2, subject to the conditions enumerated in the June 20th, 2019 Planning Commission report.
Second.
Comment on this one? Had a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. 0.
I make a motion to approve the request for a variance from section 90-139, buffers and screening, for tax map 069003A and 004A in order to reduce a portion of the required buffers subject to the conditions enumerated in the June 20th, 2019 Planning Commission report.
Good.
Motion and a second. Is there any comment? All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries 4-0.
I make a motion to approve the request for a variance to section 90-135 signs for tax map 077A099 in order to have 2 freestanding signs on the property subject to the conditions enumerated in the June 20th Planning Commission report.
Second.
Comment on this? Right over here by the railroad tracks, and they had one sign, and the building is way back in the back of the property.
Correct. So the sign is actually not on the property that the sign will represent. The sign is on the property in front of the building. So it's a request to have 2 signs on one parcel.
We had a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries 4-0. Next item is Elias.
Yes, sir, from the Public Works Committee. Subject is the Clear-Cut Road water line. I make a motion to approve the Clear-Cut water line project with a budget of $700,000, setting this as a priority project.
Second.
All right, is there any presentation or comment on this? Yes, sir. If you would, please come forward and state your name, address for the record.
Benjamin Lida, 1383 Clear-Cut Road. I just found out about this when I saw the, and I just want to make sure this is water getting. Y'all are aware that Harlem tried to come through there. I'm right in the bottom of the hook that they were trying to take. I was going to remain Columbia County. Adamantly opposed to Harlem taking any land, running any water lines, or anything. I moved to Columbia County so that I didn't have malfeasance going on. And, you know, we've all seen the emails where they're offering concessions to property owners out there to be annexed in. I don't want anything to do with Harlem. You didn't move out there. I've talked to 5 property owners right beside me in the bottom of that hook today. Like I said, we just found out about it. All adamantly opposed to
Okay. Can, Mr. Johnson, you bring us up to speed with where this motion brings us and who will be doing what? And
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the item that you have before you now is a motion to allow the county to move forward with putting a water line in place. This is results from many, many years of planning. We've been working with the city of Harlem for at least 5 years about the service delivery in that area, who best suited to be able to do that. I know Commissioner Morris is here tonight. This is something that he had on his plate when he was a commissioner in that district, and something we wanted to see. And for us, it was just a matter of getting water to the residents. At that point, it really didn't matter to us who did that. But we worked with Harlem for many years to try to get that done, and they were not able to get it done within that time period. We did say that if it wasn't done this year, that we were going to move forward with the water line. Now, that said, we're very interested in working with Harlem. This isn't a Harlem against Columbia County thing, and I had a conversation with Councilman Thigpen today, and it was a very good conversation. The city of Harlem wants to service the city of Harlem and their water needs, and they do have some customers outside the city there that they also serve. But for us, it's just time for us to move forward with this water line. Commissioner Galius wanted this on the agenda. We moved forward to see if we had any support for it. And the county is ready to go move forward with the project the way it is today. We do want to put a project in place that we can connect to the Harlem water line going forward, if that's a possibility, because we don't want a dead-end line. But we do feel like we have a responsibility to the county residents that live in the unincorporated part of the county that could benefit from this water line, and we are prepared to start immediately.
Thank you. And we all appreciate on Clear Cut y'all standing with us when forced annexation was trying to come through. So everyone that I've spoken to out there greatly appreciate it.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Lyda. I heard from Mr. Lyda 3 times today, and his neighbors as well. Thank you for coming here, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Please do. That's fine. If you would state your name and address, please.
John Thigpen. I live at 350 South Fairview. I'm the mayor pro temp on the City of Harlem Council. And I appreciate your comment. I can never. That being said, I'd like to agree with the county administrator's comments. We did have a very good conversation. There could be a very good win-win for everybody moving forward. Our only problem with what I had seen, they were going from an 8-inch line to a 6-inch line coming from Wright Spur Road in toward the city limits. That would do us no good trying to come from 221 out, because we're going to come with a 10-inch line. The pressures don't meet up, and there would be some issues with hooking up. The administrator and I talked. We think if we work together, there may be a way that we can somehow connect the 2 lines to improve water quality on both sides of wherever the city limits is. And I would like to see us do that some way or fashion, and I think we can. And I think we need to work together to try to give all residents clean water and the access to it. So whether it be city or county, that shouldn't matter. Doing what's better for the citizens. So that's all I want to say, and anything I can do to help, I told the administrator I'd be more than willing to do to try to mediate between anything with the city and the county. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Thigpen, I do have a question. I agree with the need to work together on all matters with our shared constituents. What was the source of this declaration that there was going to be a mismatch of the line from our side?
My understanding, it come out of the committee meeting, that y'all were going to run an 8-inch line to a 6-inch line to the city limits. That wouldn't benefit us tying into it. Our engineer, we're going to build a 10-inch line, and when you try to run pressures running out and away, the size of the lines matter, and I ain't no engineer. I just know water likes to flow. Get the higher pressures, you got to reduce the line size somewhat. And we plan to run a 10-inch line from 221 to Wright Spur Road was our plan. Understanding is we can do that and be ready to start in 90 days. But that would be putting our system into the county, where the county residents also understand there's some of them out there that don't want that. So regardless of how we get water there, all I'm saying is it's 8-inch line to a 6-inch line was what I heard was proposed, because it's 8-inch on Wrightsboro Road, would not benefit us to tie in a 10-inch line to that. Now, if you run a 10-inch line or even possibly an 8-inch line, there may be a way we can do some possibly hooking up to keep those lines from being deadheaded, having problem with water quality. So that's where I got my information.
Thank you very much,
Yes,
sir. Mr. Faulkner, can you address that and some of the comments that he made? I know that's probably off the cuff, but
Yeah, I was not at the committee meeting, so
I can.
But Mr. Johnson was there, fully involved in it, but the connection is definitely a great thing. A dead-end line is not a good idea.
Right.
So a mile of water line that with nowhere to go, not a good idea. So circulation is always good. Fresh water, good idea. Mr. Johnson?
So at the committee meeting, it was discussed, when we decided that we were going to move forward with this is going to be an in-house Columbia County project. We're not bidding this out. We're going to be able to do it with our own crews, and we're actually engineering the project on the ground. So we're going to be able to do it all ourselves, which means it'll go a whole lot faster. The only thing we are going to bid out is materials. We'll have to bid that out, so that'll be done. But when Mr. Clayton was asked about the size of the line, off the top of his head, he was trying to figure out what was out there, and he made mention, I think there's an 8 at Wrightsboro Road. We would run a 6 or an 8, but in light of the working with Harlem and understanding their needs, it makes no sense for us to run a line that's not going to be compatible. So that being said, and understanding their needs, I think it's going to be our goal to make sure that we run a line that's compatible, because it's always been our desire to meet up with the city line at the city limits. So there's no issue with that. We'll run whatever line we need to run to make it work for both sides.
okay. Mr. Councilman, you clear with that? Yes. Absolutely. And ever since I've been on this commission, this has been a project for Commissioner Morris, former commissioner, and it was very important to him. And I'm glad that we're finally getting to making some progress on it. Thank you for your input early on, Commissioner. Yes, sir, you can. Name and address.
Name and address for the record.
Could you please state your name, sir?
Morris, Appleton, Georgia. Drive by my farm, you see goats, that's me. Yeah, this project has been ongoing for about 8 years. I want to compliment the staff and the commissioners. Something I couldn't do in 8 years. We finally got a good commissioner. Somebody knows what to do and how to get it done.
God bless you.
But I've sat there before. I know what all goes into it. I've got a great county, great system, great staff. Think about you often. Pray about you. You probably won't be seeing. Thank Dewey for calling me and telling me about this. This is really exciting.
Yes, sir. The reason I knew this was so important to Commissioner Morris was that he was kind enough to sit down with me the day I swore in, and we did a passing of the baton. And I felt that any project that was important to him was going to be important to me. So we have some continuity for the folks in the district, and I appreciate his time doing that for me.
Thank you, Coach. Again, I like everyone has said, it's very important. And there's a lot of places out in our end of the county, out in District 3 and District 4 that don't have water, and it's such a need that if we can provide it in some way, I think we owe it to the citizens. If we can, and it's possible for it to work, I think we owe it to them. So, comments on that?
So for clarification, the $700,000, that's already set aside in the budget for the water department, correct?
Actually, we're going to be pulling from fund balance in this. There's plenty of money in fund balance to be able to cover this project. We set a $700,000 budget. We just thought that's what it was going to cost us to do it. I believe it's probably going to come in under that because we are using in-house but the money is readily available in the fund balance for the water utility.
And after you bid out the materials, you could be started in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so we're actually going to move forward by making this a priority project, which was part of the motion. That gives staff the direction to go ahead and move out immediately. So we'll go ahead and get the material list together, bid it out. As soon as the materials are in place, we'll go ahead and start the project. My goal is to have this project completed in 90 to 120 days.
Excellent.
If we can, as long as we can make the bidding of the materials on time and weather's okay. But I think we can have it done in 3 or 4 months.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, we've concluded that we're going to connect with Harlem. Can you take us through a description of what water is expensive to produce, and we do it at great cost? Can you make a description of what happens to the water once we pass it off, and what happens to a rate structure?
So the county has its own rate structure, obviously, and the city of Harlem has its own rate structure. We currently wholesale water to Harlem. I believe it's $1.80 a thousand that we wholesale it to them. They then mark it up to pay for their infrastructure that they have in place, and they resell it to the city. My understanding is, for the longest time, there's been a discrepancy between what the city residents pay and what the county residents pay for the city water, although it's all purchased at the same $1.80 per thousand rate. That said, the city council has made it clear that they want to move forward with trying to reduce those numbers. They're trying to get those numbers down. And I know even city residents are paying more for city water than county residents are paying in the unincorporated part of the county, significantly more. In one case, I believe it was a little over $7 a thousand for anything over 2,000 gallons in a month. There's a base rate, but it's over $7 a thousand. And for us, that same rate would be about $3.11 a thousand. So there is a difference, but I mean, that's certainly Harlem's position to be able to pay for their infrastructure. And it's for the city residents and the county residents. They do have higher rates than the county charges. But one thing I think I would remember is, although it's an enterprise fund for them, it's an enterprise fund for us. And with the amount of customers we have on our enterprise fund, it's very lucrative for us. But those are the real numbers.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other comments? Had a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Passes 4-0. Legal matters, Mr. Driver?
No legal matters tonight.
Any public comments?
Commissioner Richardson, a couple more Boy Scouts came in. Would you like to recognize them as well?
Would y'all please stand and give us your name and the school you'll attend? Okay, and you're with the same troop? Okay, hi, Holly. Okay. Okay, all right. All right, well, thank y'all for coming tonight. We appreciate it. All right, any public comments? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record. This is open session, yes, sir.
Okay. I was just concerned, I did talk to y'all all prior about the zoning.
Yes, sir.
And usually when you're on a debate agenda, you have a chance to come up and make a presentation so it's publicly heard. You know, the public's got reasons to come in to object or agree with whatever we're doing, and that didn't happen. I may have missed something, but I've been in hundreds of commission meetings. But if we don't get that opportunity, I'd at least like to know why it was turned down.
You weren't turned down. We had open session for you to have your presentation. That's what I asked you during.
That's why I asked Ms. Malier if we were on the item agenda, because I would bring it up during the debate session. But that didn't happen. But if you just give me a good reason why it was denied, I'd like to know.
I was expecting you to make your presentation in the presentation part of the agenda, and that's where we were signed up.
I wasn't aware that he was doing a
misunderstanding,
presentation.
Mr. Frankie.
And that's why I asked about the item agenda later. But if his decisions, I don't know if it has to be debated to be a legal vote. I don't know. But
Robert?
If it's going to make any difference, if I have a good reason why it was declined, I'll settle for that.
Make his presentation, and if it's sufficient, I'll do a motion.
Okay,
I mean, if you could
Would you
tell me
like
the
to do
reason
that?
why it was denied, but I mean, I've got lots of reasons, you know, like I told y'all all before. Is this my formal presentation for the debate agenda?
okay. Well, you're welcome to go right ahead.
Okay,
and if
okay, I just want to make sure.
So move, we'll,
Y'all are all friends of mine. I've known y'all all a good while. This property, understand planning and zoning, why they have, I guess, done the overlay for this area, probably because of the issues with the Walmart and the parking lot lights from the trucks shining in people's neighborhoods. But this property is 500 feet deep, and we only want just the front portion rezoned, or if it has to all be rezoned, you still got at least a 300-foot buffer of unusable land. And right across the street, you've got a Dunkin' Donuts. It's got maybe a 10-foot buffer behind it with the neighborhood right against it. Stays open very late at night with parking lot lights, and that's in the C1 zoning. So a car lot, to me, that's not going to have those kind of hours is less intensive. And you've got between 30 and 40,000 cars a day going up and down Bel Air Road. I just looked at it a little while ago. So you got a high traffic area. And I just don't really understand why it's an issue. Chair of the planning board, Mr. Cox, mentioned to me that, you know, we don't think it's appropriate to be there because we think there are going to be too many cars there, but that's a business decision. I mean, you could sell 2 Ferraris and, you know, make your money for the whole year if you want to. So really the number, you know, but anyway, if y'all would really consider it, I'd appreciate it. If you deny it, I'd like to kind of know what your feelings are while you're denying it.
Is there any comments to go back and reconsider this? Does anybody would like to make a motion to reconsider this motion?
I'm not inclined to do so.
Any reason why it was denied?
Recommendation from the
Just
planning.
from what the staff said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they know everything. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any other public comment? All right, we have some executive session items. Ms. Malia, I believe you're up.
I do have some. I've got pages. Here we go. These are property items. I make a motion to approve $15,800 to Home Sites Limited for parcel 47, $51,500 to Tingdon Lin and Zhao Min Lu, parcel 51, $7,400 to Toy Kin Pham, parcel 91, $8,800 to Hayward R. and Shannon F. Vick, parcel 94, and $6,300 to AMH 2015-1 Borrower LLC, parcel 103, to obtain right-of-way and/or easements for TIA Project PI 0008346 for State Route 28 Furys Ferry Road Widening Project.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 4-0.
I make a motion to accept the donation of a portion of parcels 06960E and to approve $1,500 to Brigadier Landing HOA Incorporated, parcel 069923, to obtain right-of-way and/or easements for the Gateway Boulevard Extension Project.
Second.
Second. Favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 4-0.
I make a motion to approve $53,172 to Evelyn Hooker, parcel P13T, for residential claim for relocation replacement housing.
Second.
Second. All in favor, raise your right hand. 4-0.
I make a motion to approve $500 to WSKY Records and Entertainment LLC, parcel 078C16, $990 to Mary Louise Corson, parcel 079085, and $602 to Charles F. Best Sr., parcel 078B126, to obtain right-of-way easement and/or property for the Flowing Wells Waterline Project.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Carries 4-0.
I make a motion to approve $10,000 to Jones Creek Investors, parcel 077H255, to obtain right-of-way easement and/or property for the Jones Creek Sewer Repair Project.
Second, sir.
Second, all in favor, raise your right hand. 4-0. One more motion.
I see a need to a motion for adjournment, sir.
Second.
Second, all in favor. Motion carries. We are denied at I mean,
I did not say that.
we are adjourned at 6:30. Whoa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.